Well, in this video, I would like to talk about the base count. And this video is dedicated to one of my YouTube subscribers. His name is Pramod Namdar. I think Pramod is also my student. Has, I think he has probably enrolled in my video course as well. He has been communicating me for quite a while, has a good understanding of my system. So yesterday or day before yesterday, I received an email from Pramod. I thank him for sending this email because this is a very important question. A lot of students will benefit, students and subscribers will benefit from this question. So he writes, Hi Rohit, I see that the MarketSmith user interface and display of stage value are different now. See, when MarketSmith mentions stage, you can translate it to base. Okay, stage is nothing but a base. Can you kindly make a video to explain the changes? Below is a sample flat base pattern and its stage value. I am not able to understand what do you mean by stage 1 in the bracket 1. So if you see, he has sent this screenshot. So first it is written as flat base. So let me open a chart. Again, quick disclaimer, no investment advice, no buy sell recommendations. All my videos, stocks, everything, it is all for educational purposes. I'm trying to teach you concepts. Okay, you have to do your own due diligence. I am a SEBI-registered research analyst and I have to meet certain compliances. So that's my disclaimer. You can read my disclaimer in the description. So Loris Labs, let us look at this stock. I think in my previous video, I took this example. So here is a base. So if I just hover the cursor over this base, you see it says flat base, stage 3, bracket 8, pivot, length, depth. Okay. So let's open Loris Labs on the daily time frame chart. So have a look at this. So let's measure the depth of this base. So let's draw the base first. This is the, sorry. That's the base, right? Let's measure the depth of the base. You see from here till here, roughly 13%. So let's see what's written here. If I hover my cursor here, it says depth 12. So there it was 12.33% something. Length, it says 26 days. Let's see from here till here. So how do you measure? I think from here till here. So 25 bars. Yeah, so roughly 26 days. So it's talking about length and the depth. I hope you understand that. Then what else is saying? It's a flat base. So flat base, 3 to 5 weeks of flat consolidation. The depth is not more than 10 to 15%. That's a flat base pattern. It's a name given to the base. Here is a cup with handle and here is a cup without handle. So it's just a cup. Okay. So it's a flat base. Length is 26 days. Length, depth is 12%. Pivot is 922.50, which is the high of this candle. 922.50, the high of this candle. That's where the breakout could happen, right? By the way, Loris Labs, I already rejected. You can check my previous video. So pivot point is there. Now the question is, what is this stage 3 bracket 8? Now, first thing I want to tell you, when they say stage, just replace it with base. So it's a base. It's not a stage. Okay. I think MarketSmith needs to make that correction. But I am telling you it's a base. It is base number 3. Normally, there are 5 bases in a most of the cases, there are 5 bases in a confirmed stage 2 uptrending stock. Anything above 5 means the stock is getting too extended. I have seen base number 9, base number 10 as well. You can look at Choice International. I think it has even crossed base number 10. Most cases you will see from base 1 to base 5, and from base 1 to base 2 the stock should ideally go 20 to 25%. From base 2 to base 3 it should go 20 to 25% and so on. And the length of base 1 till base 5 could be anywhere between 6 months to 24 months. Okay. So what is that stage 3 bracket 8? First thing you understand, it is base number 3. Okay, we'll discuss bracket 8 later. It is base number 3. Okay, out of our base counting normal. Then you come back here. This is base number 2B, which means sub base within base 2. Okay, so when a stock breaks out of a base, it is ideally supposed to go up 20 to 25%. When that does not happen, if it, let's say, goes up 10% and again forms a base, that becomes a sub base. So base 2B, that means base 2A should be there, right? Before that base, you will see this base 1E. So I will expand this. So this is base 1E. Now, if you notice, I tried to research in the bracket. I asked ChatGPT to look for MarketSmith literature, market search literature. It couldn't give me an answer. So I do not know what this bracket means, but I suspect it is basically the count of the base since the stock began to make an up move as per MarketSmith. So for example, let's go to Laurus Lab. So here it says stage 3 bracket 8. So 8 is the count of the base. Okay. Ever since the stock began its up move. So base 3, this is 8. Then the previous base, this is 7. Look at the brackets. Then this is 6. Then this is 5. Look at the brackets. Then this is 4. This is 3. This is 2. So you get the hang of it, right? This has got 3 bases. The Laurus Labs stock has got 3 bases, but base 1 has created 5 sub bases: base 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E. So that's 5. Then base 2 has created 2 bases, base 2A and 2B. So 5 plus 2 is 7. And then base 3 is 1 base, so that is 8. So 5 plus 2 plus 1, that is 8. That is why it's showing 8 here. This is what I understand when I look at charts. I looked at the MarketSmith website. I did not find any explanation, but just by observing the chart, it's very clear that it's just the bracket is just showing that when the stock began making its up move, I'm not saying stage 2, okay? When the stock began its up move, MarketSmith begins to count the actual number of bases it has formed. It doesn't differentiate between base and sub base, at least the bracket number. They do say that base number 7 is 2B and base number 6 is 2A and base number 5 is base 1E. Okay, they do give you the actual base count and the sub base 1A, 1B, 1C, things like that. And then they give you how many times the base has formed. So technically we can't call it a base count. We could just say how many times the base has been forming since the up move began. Now, why do I say up move? Because a stock could form base 1A, 1B on MarketSmith. Okay, as per MarketSmith calculation, the stock may form 1A, 1B. However, as per our criteria, it may not have the blue, green, red moving averages. The price may not be above the 50, the 50 may not be above 150, and 150 may not be above the 200. In other words, they may not be fully aligned with each other, even if the base 1 is formed. Sometimes even at base 2, I don't see the moving averages aligned. So I would outright reject the stock. So MarketSmith begins counting the bases when the up move begins. They have some formula which they use to calculate it on the chart. But I start to get interested in a stock only when the blue, green, red combination is there. Now that could come at base 1A, 1C, or 2A, base 3, whatever. But will be interested in the stock only when that happens. Generally, you will see when there is a long cup with handle on a weekly time frame chart, the moving averages do get aligned even on base 1. Okay, so don't ever feel that, sir, by the time base 1 is formed, the moving averages are not aligned. So don't you think we will miss the stock? No, you will not miss the stock. Okay, if it's a nicely formed cup with handle on a weekly time frame chart or a double bottom on a weekly time frame chart, generally early stage bases are double bottom and cup with handles or cups. You do get the moving averages aligned by the time the base pivot point is formed. So just to answer Pramod's question, by the way, thanks to Pramod for bringing this point up. So this is the name of the base. Pivot point, as you know, it is marked as a green dotted line. That's the buy point. Length is 7 weeks. So this is probably taken on a weekly chart. Depth is 11%. This is base number 1. So it's the first base as per our diagram of the base. And it's the first time the base has formed. This could turn into 1A and then 1B becomes bracket 2. So I hope you understand. I hope my understanding is correct because I did not find any explanation. But I have clearly illustrated this to you on this chart. The Loris Labs chart tells you everything about that what is that bracket. Okay, they tell you the name of the base, they give you the buy point, they give you the name of the pattern, they give you the blue dots, everything is there here. It is worth becoming a pro member of the MarketSmith chart. You don't have to do all of this on the TradingView platform. This chart has got a lot of information, and trust me, this the layout that you see here, it has come after multiple iterations and refinements over 5 decades. Even this chart layout is not complete, I would say. You haven't yet looked at market surge. I have clients who have market surge, and not only do they have technicals on the chart, at the bottom somewhere they also have fundamentals, the EPS growth, sales growth, everything is mentioned there. Apart from this, okay, you do have them here, but it's mentioned on the horizontal line so that you can actually compare that when EPS grew, what happened to the price. It comes on the timeline, the scale. But that level of advanced chart is not available yet in India. I hope someday they will make it available. Already you see that the chart layout has changed. This data, this pop-up box keeps appearing. Then you hover around the base, the pop-up box disappears, and this crucial information. This is crucial information. This you don't get on TradingView. That is why I say, Mark, you need a good tool. MarketSmith has got a 5 decade legacy. It's a privately owned company. No company has ever acquired MarketSmith. It's a debt-free company. They have Nobody has acquired them. They have not probably acquired anybody. They have stuck to their business model, and they have a legacy. Okay, so you always go with the best in the business. I hope I was able to address the question to the best of my understanding. I think it is just a measure of how many times the stock has been forming a base. What do we conclude from this? Well, if the stock is at base 3 and in the bracket it is written 8, that means the stock is not easily breaking out. Ideally, it should be base 1, bracket 1, base 2, bracket 2, base 3, bracket 3. That is when the stock is behaving as expected. But by the time you reach base 3 and the in the bracket it is 8, that means there have been multiple bases being formed within one base. There are multiple sub bases. So that reduces the reliability of the third base. How do we know that this is base 3? Why not? Why don't we know that this is base 3A? We will only know that this is 3 or 3A when the stock breaks out and doesn't go up 20-25%. It starts to drop maybe after 10%. That is when this base becomes base 3A. It is no more base 3. Okay. And then we'll have to see what happens to 3B. Okay. So that is my discussion on the question. Thanks to Pramod for sending this email. I like it when people send intelligent questions through the email. Thank you so much.